Welcome back and thank you for joining us for our next game, Team WE versus Gambit Esports. Gambit Esports, their world run will end after this game, but they do have one final chance here to make a mark, to prove to their region that they were the worthy team to attend the World's Playing Stage.
Yeah, I'm sure they would love to get one win here for the CIS, kind of live up to the Albus Nox Luna reputation of last year, just a little bit even. Gonna have a tough time, obviously, now that they're already knocked out, but at the very least, you could get a good parting shot in at China.
And frankly, they are certainly warming up there. I mean, their last game was better than their previous one. We still have a lot of the same mistakes. We're a bit over zealous, bit over eager, not quite crafting the correct fights or the opportunities that they need, but they are getting warmer.
And we're gonna have to see what their approach is going to be, right? Because at the end of the day, this is kind of the victory lap for Team WE. We're not sure what they can bring to the table, and by the same kind of logic, we can say that this is, while it is a tough defeat for Gambit Gaming, we have no idea what they could bring to the table. Maybe this is where they go, hey, remember those weird strats we were trying down in, scrims, something that we thought we weren't ready to try? Let's show it here. Let's show something new for the world's meta.
I mean, there's really two trains of thought here. Either Team WE want to hold their cards close to their chest, don't show anything for the best of 5 that will be following them, and they play the exact same standard way. Or they decide to have a little bit of fun in front of the home crowd advantage,
yeah, show off
and
with
just
the
try
fans,
to style.
man.
I know Condi can get down. I would love to see some of those level 3 dives that we were seeing in the regional qualifiers, so I would love to see some of that. I'm sure the fans feel the same way. Yeah, you get down dirty, you start diving people, you don't know what's going on.
I mean, I hope they have it planned. But the interesting thing for me is, like, there's 2 shades of WE that we've seen, right? There is the shade that they've been showing us more here, where it is that kind of slow and steady. But we've also seen, just like you're talking about, Mark, that level 3 tower dive every game style of WE.
Yeah, and the important thing is this guy on your screen right here. It's all about Condi. If you want the hyper-aggressive, super fast-paced Team WE, it's when he takes up the pick like the Elise, like the Ezreal, you know things are going to get explosive. If he goes for the Gragas, the Sejuani, it's going to be a classic 45-minute WE game.
But ultimately, if you had to make a bet here, Frostcorn, what do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be safe, steady, clean closeout?
Blind pick Kog'Maw.
That is, if you don't know, on the safe side for WE.
The inevitable, hey, let's play around our best player Mystic kind of strategy.
I mean, the cool thing is that if you go way back with this legacy, I know I talk about this all the time, but there used to be this little known guy named Wei Xiao. He was the godfather of ADCs. He's the guy who really invented how orb walking and spacing really was supposed to be utilized for ADCs, set that standard. And Mystic has kind of been raised to be the new Wei Xiao. They play very similar in 2012, how they do now, and funneling all their resources into the AD carry and building everything up around him.
And that's why I wouldn't mind, just thinking about the Gambit perspective, seeing them go really hard in another direction, just because it feels like the blasting one is a bit of a mismatch. We saw the Jhin pick when there were a lot of other options left on the table. I wouldn't mind seeing a more aggressive kind of all-in style around that bot lane, and hopefully Edward can finally start having a big impact on these games, because I think that's one of the things that's really come up short for Gambit fans, is that we haven't seen these kind of like explosive roaming plays out of Edward.
I mean, it's not necessarily for lack of trying.
Yeah,
it's more so like lack of execution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the end of the day, though, we're going to have to see what exactly they want to bring to the table. For now, though, we'll send it over to the casters to get you guys into picks and bans.
Thank you, Dracos. You're joining Rusty and I for Team WE versus Gambit Esports. Like they just got done talking about, the standings for this group are already locked in. WE has already secured first place for themselves. Gambit has already been eliminated as the 3rd place lock-in. However, that doesn't mean they can't go out in a blaze of glory, and hopefully they show us something cool here in their final game at Worlds.
Yeah, the stakes may not be high, but there's also going to be an entire region watching you play. So if you are the CIS team here of Gambit Esports, I'd have to imagine you either do something crazy and go down in that blaze of glory, or you take it deadly seriously and just try and get that one win for your whole region. You'd have to imagine that they would be hungry for that victory.
Exactly. You didn't come all the way here to play 4 games and lose all 4 games. You want to walk away with at least something in your pocket, something to take back home with you. And we'll see if Gambit Esports can do that now against Team WE. Elise and Kane banned out at the start by WE, really focusing onto the jungle pool of Diamondprox, as Kalista is the first ban from Gambit.
And I will say right now that they are all way too happy on the side of Gambit. I'm smelling it. There's something in the air, Russ. Something's fishy here. You've got the Kane bans. You've got a lot of jungle focus, as you mentioned, from WE onto Diamondprox. And I mean, he is the catalyst of a lot of success for Gambit Esports. Anytime that they make a play, it's usually revolving around him.
Well, let's see what they want to finish this off with. Another jungler? Yep. Taking Jarvan out of the picture. Granted, that could be... I'll give that 2.5 jungle bans, Rusty, because Jarvan can go top, but Jarvan can also go into the jungle. 2.5.
I'd give it 3 jungle bans and 1 top lane ban, so it's the 4 for 3 special. How about?
All right, fair enough. All
I mean,
right.
it is still a full.
All right, I'll
champion when
take
it's-
that. I'll take that. Shen banned away, the final one from Gambit Esports. What exactly does WE want to play this time around? Thinking about that Ezreal here at the start, maybe giving that one over to Condi there in the jungle, but gonna go with the Alistar instead.
Not quite, but Zero will get his Alistar. Loves to roam around the rift, and I guess they take it from Edward if we want to go down that path as well. One of the supports now going to be removed. It does indicate usually the Tristana propensity here from Mystic, if he wants to go for that in the AD carry position. So you look towards Gambit, and it's, do you want to take the Tristana away? Is that something that's valuable to you? Because I know if I was playing against Mystic in any capacity, I'm not giving him Tristana. Usually a mistake.
Doesn't seem like they agree. Kog'Maw locked in on the side of Gambit Esports along with that Sejuani.
Yeah, so they picked themselves the hyper carry. The Sejuani, super tank, going to be able to stand in front of blasting, of course, but without the rest of the team composition seen, all we can see is the Kog'Maw. Well, my assumption is that the rest of the champions will just protect him, unless he goes mid.
Ooh, Vayne hover from WE. Locked in. All right, here we go.
All right, Uzi.
It's
Now
fun
Mystic.
time.
We've got the Vayne locked in. We've got ourselves one of the LPL specials when we're looking at champions. And even now with this hover, don't be too confident that it doesn't get locked in.
Is WE gonna go for this? Have to see the Annie pick. Are we gonna get 2 awesome picks in a row? WE?
Come on.
Up. That's not as exciting. Go back to the other fire-based spellcasting champion. Okay, we're gonna go with the Rumble.
At least it's fire. You've got that.
At least it's fire. We've
Right.
got that going for us, but now it's up to Gambit to decide how exactly they're gonna answer the Vayne on the side of Team WE. Stop him from setting up those montage plays.
Not a
Get your-
lot's going to stop a Vayne from setting up montage plays.
Get yourself a nice dubstep song to put in the background. Throw that up on YouTube and use some cool transition effects in your YouTube Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker thing.
I mean, this game may well become exactly that if things go in WE's favor. I mean, the LPL is one of the only regions that plays Vayne. I'd have to imagine Mystic knows how it works. Uzi, big fan of the champion, but we haven't seen it from Mystic.
Well, Cho'Gath locked in for Gambit means more frontline power and also the ability to just num that Vayne and cut the montage short. We'll have to see if he can manage to get on top of that champion though, because Vayne is awfully slippery. Ezreal banned out by Gambit, wanted to keep that one away from Condi.
Yeah, they get rid of the jungle Ezreal from Condi. I mean, it has worked to a degree of success. You wouldn't say it's the most successful champion of choice for Condi thus far. It now has a win, at the very least in competitive League of Legends today. Up until then, it did not for Condi specifically. But with that, a jungler has been removed. 2 junglers now have been removed. Condi's champion pool starts to look a little bit thin, but you still get your Gragas. It'll still be okay.
Gambit responding to WE's jungle focus in the first part of the bans with some jungle focus of their own here in the second part. WE taking Janna off the table, doesn't want that easy Ardent Sensor applicator. Have to see what they want to do with their second ban here. A couple seconds left to make this one.
And you're looking at something like the Rakan ultimately for the support position here of Gambit Esports. You've got the Janna and the Lulu removed. Good bans from WE.
Yep.
They don't need that Kog'Maw being a ridiculous hyper carry that is unstoppable. So maybe limiting the pool. Of course, Taric is also something that works okay with a Kog'Maw, has the Ardent Sensor, has the ability to make you invulnerable. We'll have to see which direction they look towards going.
All right, Gambit, you still got to pick yourselves a Nunu.
You've got to pick yourselves a Nunu.
You got to pick yourselves a Nunu.
You gotta
Sometimes,
pick the Nunu.
sometimes that's the way she goes. You grab yourselves the Nunu going into your last game at Worlds.
Give me that blood
They're ready.
oil. That was the game plan. So the Kog'Maw Nunu looks like it's going to be the bottom lane. We'll have to see. Of course, there's already a Sejuani on the Rift. So I guess we're waiting for a mid laner from the side of Gambit Esports.
All right, WE locking in the Graves. All right. Condi was like, you can have Ezreal. I didn't want him anyway. I got a different range champion in mind.
You ban one AD carry. I've got another one, and he shoots 3 times at once. Which
Yeah.
is even better.
Just 4 bullets from the same gun.
All of it. It's more efficient as we're waiting for Xie's champion of choice, I believe, here for Team WE to round out what is a team composition.
Ooh, the LeBlanc. Gonna be locked in for xiye here. This is a fun team composition from WE.
Certainly is. 957 gets Rumble. He is a fantastic Rumble player when he gets any kind of momentum. Condi, I mean, he's got his Graves, and say what you will about Graves. He has it. He's still going to be okay on the champion. xiye does have LeBlanc, though. When you look at any hint of normalcy, that's a place that you look towards specifically and say, that is sick.
Okay,
That might be sicker.
we got ourselves a game, Rusty. Yasuo, the final pick at Worlds 2017 for Gambit Esports, preceded by a Nunu. This team is here to make a memory out of this fourth game, one way or the other. They are gonna have fun doing it.
And another spanner into the works. If memory serves, Team WE played against Invictus Gaming, and there was a Yasuo into LeBlanc as the pick of choice. And let's just say that the Yasuo was incredibly fed, unreasonably fed, and they won in 25 minutes. WE lost in 25 minutes, so perhaps this pays homage to that just a little bit.
The mind games, they're just trying to psych him out, saying, hey, remember this? Part 2.
We're back, but Kira also showing, of course, the depth of his champion pool, being able to play a million different champions. He did it through the regular season, and this is no exception.
Well, let's see how they can do with it. I mean, honestly, the wind wall up against a Vayne, up against a Graves, even LeBlanc chains and spells, there's a lot of value you can get out of a well-placed one of those, so maybe he can disrupt some of this massive damage potential coming in from the side of Team WE and pull out what would honestly be a hilarious upset with Yasuo and Nunu taking down the Vayne of the current 3-0 WE.
Pretty hilarious upset, to say the least.
Yeah.
Of course, the fans are excited by Team WE playing these champions. You can hear them going off now. And it's a fun game all around. I'm sure they're all big fans of what was Gambit Esports currently, formerly, of course, Moscow 5 and Albus Nox Luna together.
Well, let's see what we get to see at the beginning of this game, Rusty. If you're going to make picks like Graves and Vayne and Yasuo and Nunu, I want to see some level 1s. I don't want to see people sitting around with a 5-point spread in their own jungles, patiently waiting for wards. I want to see 5-man face check.
That would definitely be something that I would be excited to see. Nonetheless, when you look at the champions, whilst we want to see the level 1 shenanigans, it is a Vayne. And as much as level 1 may be exciting, it's still a Vayne at level 1. so the question is, like,
tumble.
is it really worth it?
She can tumble. Tumble adds a grand total of 30% of her total attack damage. That's 20 extra damage. 21, if we're being exact.
That's absolutely bonkers. Mr. Flowers, it's bonkers.
As WE moves up. Ooh, they get a harpoon onto Stejos.
Oh, but they got the ward, most important.
Yeah.
So extra experience, a bit of extra gold for xiye.
Down. CS advantage for xiye too.
Heck
Lane's already
yeah.
over. 1 CS before minions spawn. Blasting just hanging around here with the Kog'Maw. There's the return of that skin that I missed out on yesterday. Edward throwing the snowball out onto Mystic. A lot of slow effectiveness from that one.
Oh,
the exhaust. They're going all the way in on this one. Mystic, they want to pop some kind of a summoner on him. They at least get his heal. Exhaust for heal on these guys. No chill at all. They're going back in. The flash away from Mystic. They're popping the heal to go after him. It's first blood for the Kog'Maw.
Mystic, I mean, I guess he wanted a ward in the bush, but it's not going to be the kind of ward that keeps him alive. Mystic's just going to get blasted and die to the dog.
This game is great.
Here comes Condi at 957. You don't get a free red buff.
All right, WE flexing those muscles, trying to steal this one away, but it's Diamondprox who gets it now. 957 on the run, but Kira's made the rotation as well, and it's a 2-0 game for Gambit Esports.
I mean, it's just unlucky, you know, these things happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose really early on in League of Legends, and so far, whilst the first CS might have gone to xiye, a lot more has gone to the side of all of Gambit, just quietly.
I mean, xiye might have got 1 CS before the minions spawned, but Gambit got 2 kills, so works out well for them at the end of the day. xiye trying to trade onto Kira there with his 1 level advantage. Now Kira jumps right back in there, delivering the Steel Tempest. Such a cool name for such a spammy spell. Zero jumping in, trying to knock away that Kog'Maw. Remember, Mystic blew both summoner spells and still died.
Yeah, it is against the Kog'Maw with Blood Boil, so it's not going to be a good time. Edward is making his life utterly miserable.
And by the way, this is Stoneborn Pact Nunu, so he'll probably rush an Ardent Sensor, and then whatever you attack, if it's been snowballed, you just get the Sensor bonus. So very nice for the Kog'Maw on that one. Diamondprox wanting to come down into this bottom lane, see if they can make this lead even larger.
Very achievable.
Slow comes out. There's your Pulverize. Snowball finding its way onto Mystic yet again. Diamond wants to go in, and he's got the flash. The moves from Gambit Esports this game, finding these kills time and again, but Condi takes down that pesky Kog'Maw.
At least they get the trade. Diamondprox and Edward, though, still looking towards working together in tandem. Stejos is now a mid laner. No one knows how he got here, but he is, so this is how it's going to happen. As suddenly, at least there was a trade in the bottom lane.
Ooh, Kira gets rooted, but mostly just loses shield on that one. The shield comes up at just the right time, honestly, though.
Sometimes
proc
just does that.
Walking himself away. Stejos just deciding to grab himself a little bit of crab dinner here in the river. One more. There you go.
And now he's going back to the jungle.
Condi wants to set up a bit of a trap here. Him and Zero waiting.
Oh, this
at
is
blast cone.
the longest long con.
Blasting, wandering back down there as he sees them go over the wall.
He hasn't. What
He's
are you
walking
doing?
right into it anyway. What the hell?
He was like, you can't be shopping. What was he doing?
I'm not quite sure, Rusty.
He was definitely looking at another lane. He was not looking at himself as two people jump over a wall onto a ward and then just murder him. That's tragic.
Murder Cow strikes again, catching that poor dog out of position and sending him right back to the spawn platform. Express ticket one way. Kira continuing to try to just farm up here in mid lane, but he's down a significant margin of CS. Granted, there's a lot of minions just waiting to be farmed up. Throws out the wind wall to make sure he can secure the cannon. Gets hit by the second part of the chains.
That is a significant advantage for xiye, though, even when you look at just the experience. It was 5-3 up until these minions equalized that a little bit more. That's kill threat.
Nope, there's the flash. Thought Kira was gonna be in trouble there for a second, but manages to get himself out of it. Now they're going in. They got Diamondprox here as well. xiye trying to keep himself alive, but he's got backup. Stun comes out, wind wall goes over the wall. The kill from xiye to start this one off, as they might be able to find even more on Diamond now. Condi's got plenty of damage, but xiye nearly getting himself killed by the turret.
Yeah, playing with fire there, but xiye is going to survive. He gets the kill as well. Kira goes down. That's how everyone who plays against Yasuo should feel good about this exact moment. No one wants to see him alive. And I'm a Yasuo player, and I still feel that as a truth.
A lot of people's favorite part about Yasuo is his death animation. That's the part they like seeing the most. Diamondprox moving back into his own jungle. Team WE, 400 gold behind Gambit Esports right now, but still making plays all over the place.
And you often wonder in games like this that may not mean a lot for the stakes of the tournament when teams say, all right, it's time to get it together and take this at a 100% serious again. And it's usually at that point where you've realized we're losing too much. And I feel like WE did that at level 3.
Right.
Like, hang on. We've actually just died 3 times for no reason. Maybe we should make a play.
Maybe we should play the game seriously now. We've entered twice before 2 minutes. It's time to shape up a little bit. They've done just that. Berserker's Greaves now onto Condi's Graves means he'll be able to get up in people's faces that much more effectively. And right now, he's making his way down towards the bottom lane. Blasting going to be ignited, stunned up. Mystic with the damage on this one. Condi shows up, drops the smoke screen. Walks up to grab himself the auto attack, and it's Edward who's now going to be kill number 2, maybe double kill for Condi. Kira wanted to come in there,
he wants it.
up Mystic. He gets himself stunned. He still wants to make the play, but I don't think he's gonna get it. It's a triple for Condi.
And Condi's now 4-0-1 after all of these trades. With the triple kill to be seen from him, that is one big Graves. Maybe not a champion that you often see, but I tell you what, you give him 3 kills, it doesn't matter if he's in the meta or not, he's going to be extremely fed. Of course, we get to watch a replay of this one. Zero, he's playing exceptionally well throughout most of this tournament. Mystic, make sure to tumble next to the wall to try and reduce the duration of it as well, and smart use of the condemn at the very last second to make sure he's not going to die, even with the Kog'Maw's bonus damage. Alistar's healing, by the way, that he gives back when someone dies around them is nuts.
And the triple kill comes through. Point blank shotgun. Works in League of Legends like it does in a lot of other games.
Yeah, it's a very effective means of doing damage, one would imagine.
As Kira continues trying to farm up now, 28 to 46 CS, 0 and 2. This is the Yasuo that everybody sees on their own teams.
Yes, not the enemy team's Yasuo.
Zero making the rotation, managing to knock Kira up into the air there. He tries to skirt away behind the wind wall, does keep himself protected enough to survive the gank at least. WE 6-3 with that 1,000 gold lead. 8 minutes in. This is a bloody one, Rusty. 9 kills in 8 minutes.
I feel like the goal is to just try and stay ahead of the clock for kills, and that's a successful game as far as I'm concerned.
That's all.
Blasting turn.
Blasting may just get himself blasted, but Edward shows up in time to keep him alive. Now it's their turn to return some of the damage.
Well, that's a lot, though.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Whenever Kog'Maw has the W up, he's got the Blood Boil there, and Edward's able to slow people down. Remember the Stoneborn pack that you mentioned? Not only is it good for an Ardent Sensor, but it just gives the healing every time you hit someone, just like the Ardent Sensor works. So they're able to double up super nicely, but even without it, Kog'Maw gets a lot.
And now they're keeping Mystic and Zero sort of zoned away from their own turret. They're afraid to walk up to these two. They know how much damage Kog will do with that Bioarcane Barrage on. And the Snowball means that it's really easy to keep you in range for more than a couple of auto attacks.
It certainly is, and of course, when the rest of the team go missing into the river, Kira was doing a scuttle crab. I guess they have a lot of reasons to be afraid of what could be a lot of people diving down in the bottom lane, but as that subsides, as they show their hands and back to the middle lane they go, and everything will calm down, they start farming. However,
Diamondprox with a double buff. Want to see if he can set the trap down here. Control ward placed down. They know that nobody's going to be ever the wiser.
About a wave away from being a thing as well. Of course, he's going to have to wait for the wave to clear before he walks into the bush, but we're looking at Condi, who's very close by himself. If they both have the same idea, well, then I doubt Diamondprox will want to go for this. That's a 4-0 Graves.
Oh, this will be fun, though. I want to see the 3 versus 3.
And there's vision for both of them. They know the Alistar's going to show himself at Tribush now. They've got the
You
jump.
got to get him. You got to go. There's the prison. There's the damage and blasting. Take
Oh, they're
Mystic's
teleporting,
main out of the
though.
picture. Condi wants to come in, clear these guys up. It's teleport, teleport, more teleport. Rumble ulti comes down. Edward drops first. 957 trying to get more damage down as Stejos looks to make a meal out of him. Knock up with the rupture. Flashing away, but here comes the rest of the damage. The feast not enough, and Condi finds unstoppable to be his streak with the damage on that one. Diamondprox barely walking away. Blasting needs one more auto attack. Gets it onto 0, but now he's going to be taken down by the flames of 957. Wants to put that passive to use, but can't quite do it.
And we don't get to see it, but the dog does not make it to get the kill in the end. 957. And xiye
Oh, no.
is just going to pick up the kill on the back end as well. And ultimately, WE is starting to run away with this.
Janitor on duty,
That's
cleaning
exactly
up at
right.
the end of the fight.
As we'll watch a replay of Mystic caught out of position, of course. A lot of damage, a lot of crowd control from a Sejuani. Nunu slows there. The teleport was pretty much instant from 957, you'd have to add on top of that. There was a teleport used in the middle lane from xiye. He got cancelled by Yasuo, so the fight breaks out here. They're all trying to avoid Cho'Gath's ultimate. They're all just actively flashing away from it, but he flashes to use it himself, misses the calculations. Condi starts to pop off. Kinda. He also lets him by standing there and taking it for a kill. That's what
And
you
then
do.
the body chases after him, but the shield's just a little bit too much.
Rumble always has shield up, unfortunately. And this is the cancel.
Kira can't
I believe he cancels himself, yeah, to make sure he doesn't
Yeah.
die and to try and trade.
Yeah, Kira doesn't have the ability to stop it with CC, but he can stop it with the damage, as xiye says, well, if you want to learn about damage, here you go.
Yep. It goes bottom and shows them about damage as well. He's actually a professor of damage right now.
Getting closer to that Gunblade. 86 CS to 54. Plenty of lane advantage for him. Team WE up about 2,500 gold over their opponents right now, but Blasting's Kog'Maw. He's got 3 kills. He's got more farm than the Vayne too. Working on getting that Blade of the Ruined King. xiye about to get turret first blood though.
Getting the claps for the turret.
You gotta get excited, man. We got us a high-octane game. 17 kills, 12 minutes. Diamondprox about to be cooked up like Christmas dinner on this Sejuani. Oh, he sidesteps it. He's ready to go, but now Edward trying to keep himself alive. Can't quite do it. Mystic about to find the kill onto Blasting as well. The double kill for the Vayne. Doesn't matter if the Kog'Maw passive finds its mark or not this time. Stejos going after 957, getting the silence,
He wants
getting the
this.
rupture. Still looking for even more. Able to find more attacks with the E, and he manages to get the feast.
And he's gonna get out with one tower shot to spare as Kira may not want to be in this position.
Not again. More damage comes through. Not quite enough. Flashing back in. xiye. Could this be his first death? The Sejuani's after him. He's hungry for blood. Not quite
doesn't
getting
have
the
it.
second part of it. And Nunu, the snowball for the shutdown.
Oh, big Nunu makes sure that he picks up the kill. He knows who the real carry is. And that's Nunu getting Ardent Sensor above all else. It's not so much Nunu is the champion, it's the item he's going to purchase. But they shut down xiye. Look, let's just say the flash was adventurous. We all know what he wanted to achieve from it, but the direction was a little bit off.
Only problem with that is he didn't spam the Nunu laugh as he got the kill.
Oh, so
That's
true.
what you need, that little animation spamming. Roo! Exactly, the Nunu. That's what we like to see from him, but he gets himself the kill. He shuts down that enemy LeBlanc, and that'll provide a little bit of extra breathing room for the Yasuo. Diamondprox goes over the wall with the blasting cone, thinking about setting this one up. Feast almost available yet again for Stejos.
He's just gonna have to walk through the turret, I guess.
Yup,
There he goes.
he walks up and gives his buddy a rupture and then leaves. He's like, okay, here you go.
And now xiye's top.
Now xiye's gonna grab the kill onto him. Rupture thrown down, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough, Rusty. Double kill up in the top lane, might just be the same down here in the bottom side. Blasting with that Blade of the Ruined King, putting some good damage down on Mystic, whose attack speed is gonna be sapped. Living Artillery over the wall doesn't find its mark. Blasting can't follow it up. And Gambit gets the better of the fight, although they will not get the kills.
And this may be the longest laning phase in League of Legends history if we continue along this track, because no one's going to take a turret if all we're doing is killing each other as we get to lane. Nunu Kog'Maw, I mean, it's scaling. Bottom lane of a Vayne's going to scale. It's going to be nice to have if we break turrets. And we just got one.
All right, now we got two.
And we got two now.
We've got two now.
Oh, there's a teleport bottom.
We're about to have
No
three,
time
but
for that.
TPs are coming in. 957 wants to make an impact here. TP now also going to be used. Stejos making his way into the mix. Righteous Glory trying to catch that Rumble off guard. xiye getting the root and the damage down onto Kira now. Rupture trying to find its way onto the Rumble. Doesn't quite find it. Nice flash away from 957. Gambit Esports getting themselves out. Their mid laner almost dead. Means that the fight's probably not a good idea. Stejos still lumbering around as this big silly Cho'Gath gets rooted after he goes up the wall. Hero's going to follow him up. Stejos still trying to keep himself alive as Zero now finds himself caught in the middle of all 5 Gambit members. Walking away. Meanwhile, Condi just doesn't care about any of this at all.
Actually leaves the Herald buff in the pit. No, you go back and
saying,
get that.
you guys can have this bottom lane fiesta. I'm going to go get an actual objective and then leave it on the ground and go back for it.
I was going to say as well, it's kind of amusing that at the end of all of that, no one from Gambit dies and no one from WE throws themselves a little bit too hard. Still almost happened, but they are going to survive. And mostly the answer to that is because Condi was doing the Herald, because he was looking towards an objective. And WE still get the lead from all of that because they're able to push down this top lane turret. And they're going to push bottom at the same time and try and get that health trade advantage.
Diamondprox not realizing he's sitting on top of a ward here. WE wise to these plans. Diamond is going to go ahead and grab himself a Scuttle Crab instead. Condi 5-0-6 on the Graves. Once he gets involved in the fight, he's really scary.
The power of
Just
Condi's
get
about
in
to
there.
compel him.
957 finds him. Condi dashes past the Rupture. Point blank on that Graves. Can he hit the ulti this time? You're right next to him. Okay, he doesn't even need it. 957 killing spree.
We're at a point where he doesn't need to throw the ultimate anymore. Storm Raider's Surge is enough to keep him up and close to the target. There's no chance for Stejos to survive. There's no flash to keep him there. So here we are with a super fed Graves.
We got a super fed Graves. We got a really strong Rumble. We got a really strong
Consume it.
LeBlanc.
Don't even give it to the Cog, consume it.
Just eat it. You're Nunu. This is your job. Oh, he didn't eat it. All right, whatever. You still gave it over to the Cog. They still got that for themselves. Kira steals away one chicken and then the rest lose their patience.
But he got the one chicken.
He got the one chicken. That's still counter jungling, Rusty. You took
Statement made.
a jungle creep from your enemy. Diamondprox trying to figure out an opportunity to maybe look for something down here, just hanging out behind his boys, seeing if his opponents try to collapse. He'll be there, ready to go, ready for that counter initiation.
There's 4 here from WE though, so the counter initiation may not be ideal.
Yeah, the counter initiation might just get bopped a little bit, but it's actually Mystic who's now in some trouble. Diamondprox needs one more hit to take him, and he does do it, but it's Blasting who gets blasted. It's Edward who goes with him. It's Diamondprox who burns to a crisp, and it's xiye who gets the solo kill onto Kira for fourth time.
Yeah, a lot of times. Kira's not having a great day on Summoner's Rift up against this LeBlanc. He's going to be 0, 4, and 2. The Phantom Dancer's not going to do anything to save him, so the Null Magic Mantle's the item of choice for Kira, and bottom lane dies at the same time. Condi's damage is outrageous at the moment, and so the turret, it's going to inevitably fall down. Meanwhile, Stejos, the big chicken that is a Cho'Gath, is going to try his absolute hardest to trade.
You think a Cho'Gath is like a primitive chicken?
He may be big, like it's hard to say because they're voidish.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Void chickens, yeah.
We don't know what they look like. Like maybe that is a Cho'Gath. This is of course a replay. As Mystic is caught out of position. He doesn't get to live. Of course, there's 4 stacks, so he's just going to die the second he appears. And then Condi, at the same time, was one-hitting the enemy AD carry and the support because he does that much damage.
Right. When you're Graves and you're 5-0-6 or 7-0-6 now, you just one-hit anybody you walk up to. Kind of like this.
Kira dodged one chain, but it really doesn't matter in the end because of how fed xiye is.
Edward, ooh, flash away thanks to the
Dodged it.
Nunu, but now he's going to be interrupted as soon as he starts the absolute zero. Root comes out, xiye grabs a kill. Kira going after Condi, but
No!
I think that's a lot like what happened when the real samurai left the world, Rusty. They had to fight guys with guns. Swords don't beat guns. Diamondprox, 4 riders don't beat crossbow vampire hunters either, apparently. He's gonna be taken down.
WE, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of just the lesson that we're learning here as Condi pushes up bottom lane. He's got Shelly ramming her head into the turret.
Oh, here we go again. Round 2.
All right, Stejos wants to make a meal out of him, but the Rupture won't find it. He's just
Condi's
so
not
fast
done.
with the Storm Raiders.
Here he comes. What are you going to
Oh,
do?
Stejos, nope, he's out of there. xiye grabs the killing spree. WE grabs the turret. It's 25-8. 33 kills in 19 minutes.
And I'm pretty sure Condi is now offering tickets, so you can take one and line up for the Grave Show, as he is currently killing everyone one by one, as they make sure they're running at him one by one, of course. Gambit not having the best experience, but still a fun game, I'll give them that. They are not going to relent in any way with their aggression. It doesn't mean
TP.
WE are going to slow down.
Here we go. Oh, xiye's just like, nope, get out of here, blasting, you're done. Teleports right up top of him and just kills him.
I always admire the Kog'Maw decision-making if I have to go to the minions.
Yup, I've got to stay here. It doesn't matter. Mystic trying to fight his way out of this one. He's got the backup now. Edward goes down first. Mystic stays alive. Stejos tries to get the feast, but he can't do it. He doesn't even have the cooldown. 957 throws his equalizer the wrong way, but he still gets a double kill. Stejos runs back into the bushes. 957 goes golden. And Stejos gets slammed up against the wall.
And they'll give the kill to Mystic. He deserves something after getting all of this focus, as we have to watch a 1v1 happen all over
All
again.
right.
Here we go.
Oh, xiye! Kira tries to go in, but he just doesn't have the damage. xiye's 8-1 LeBlanc, too strong.
And at 20 minutes and 30 seconds in the game, Baron has spawned. Of course, he's got his fancy new headwear on. But WE are going to make sure that he doesn't get to wear it for all that long.
They're going to knock that fancy hat right off his mini heads. Just like that, they take it down. About a 20-second endeavor for these guys. And Condi 8-0-8 on the Graves. Looks like going for a Infinity Edge. Third item.
It certainly looks like he's going towards that item, yes. That's probably what you should do when you have 8 kills, is we're going to watch a 1v1 in the bottom lane again. It's a big bait. Kira flashes forwards, thought he had enough damage. He definitely doesn't. And xiye does still play this incredibly well. I'll give him that. Even weaving what looks like an auto attack before the kill, as both LeBlancs get to walk over the dead body.
It's only a 14,000 gold lead at 21 minutes. Come back from one of these every day. No big deal.
I think it's fair to say with... that was 2 people in a bush. I didn't even see them.
Neither did xiye, but it didn't matter. He was right there with the reaction and gets away. Oh,
that
now he
was
walks right
one.
back into it. But he still doesn't care. Look at the damage he does to Edward.
Blasting. Poor
All right,
Kog'Maw.
0. Yep.
Leave the pug alone.
The pugs are going to be on the endangered species list after this one.
Oh.
Mid lane inhibitor. It's down, almost. They want to get the kills if they can. They don't really care about objective.
In case you guys haven't noticed, this game doesn't mean a whole lot for the outcome of the tournament. We're at 22 minutes, and they are breaking inhibitors, though.
They're about to break the Nexus. The wind wall comes out, but Zero goes in deep into the back lines. Kira's already out of there. The stun on a Diamondprox. The flash forward from 957. Legendary for Condi on this Graves. xiye in the back line just showing off those fancy feet and the teleports back to the previous distortion markers. Nexus turret number 1 falls 22.5 minutes into the game. Big old minion wave, Baroned up. Condi firing off the end of the line into the Nexus, just bouncing it on back.
Oh, get it,
Mystic
Mystic.
goes into final hour mode. Oh, nearly gets himself killed. Better be careful about that one. Stejos. I don't know how careful he's going to be. Condi just face tanks all of them and doesn't care.
Oh, no!
Perfect game ruined by a tennis ball. Blasting manages to blast him out of the game.
Oh no, WE, they can't end. They're now just going to be chased down.
Oh no, Kira tries to go in, but he just gets bopped. Blasting gets bopped. 957 is legendary. Diamondprox runs for his life. I don't think Mystic cares too much.
I guess they've decided to end the game.
I guess
here.
they want to end the game instead. WE takes down Gambit. Their group stage performance will end with a perfect record, and Gambit will leave the world stage in 2017 in one of the most entertaining ways I think they possibly could have.
Exactly right. If nothing else, they had fun doing it. The last game meant nothing
They
for
were good
Gambit.
sports.
WE wanted to have the perfect game, but they also made sure that they were there to have fun just as much as Gambit were. Both teams acknowledging that was what the state of the game was going to be.
Look at the smiles
Exactly.
on the players' faces. They know exactly what that game was. It was a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully as much fun to play in. I assume, especially on the side of WE, you get to walk around one-shotting people. That's normally pretty fun.
Yeah, we had 25 stacks on Mijais for the LeBlanc for xiye. We had an Infinity Edge completed at the end for Condi as well. They were doing some ridiculous things that should not happen on Summoner's Rift in a competitive game, but they were allowed to do so.
WE came into this play-in stage, and a lot of people were saying this is one of, if not the strongest team in all of play-ins. This is one of the stronger teams in the entire tournament, and they walk out of play-in groups 4-0. That's what you would expect from a team that was hyped up this much. The hometown crowd, listen to the cheers. These guys are really happy to see WE do this, even if the last one was a little memey.
I mean, if it's fair to say, I think after a game like that, it felt like a sitcom with how the crowd was reacting to everything. They thoroughly enjoyed the game. Can only hope the English viewers did just as much as well as the home crowd there. And I think it's fair to say with that many kills in a game, it was officially off chops.
That was just the best possible game. I loved it. To break it down, though, let's send things over to the analysts.
I think breaking it down is a generous term for exactly how we're going to describe that game.
Yeah, there's not too much to talk about analytically.
I mean, I'm sorry, Marcy. Are you not a professional Nunu support
Are you not
expert?
entertained?
All right, well, let me tell you about why this team comp was not so good. One, you have so many marks and not many frontliners for there on WE. You're relying on the Alistar
All right,
only.
you're terrible. You go.
It had Nunu. What more do you want? You go
I was
on-
talking about WE's comp.
Okay, well, I'm talking about Gambit's comp because that's the one that matters. This is what made
All
them
right.
famous. This
well,
was the Empire.
Hold on. As crazy as it was, we did want to bring up one replay just to show you how chaotic this game was, in case you missed any of the action.
And I'm really just disappointed in Mystic here because this was a guy we were hyping up at the start. We were hyping this guy up at the start of the week. Mystic was supposed to be the man to watch, and he's feeding his brains out in the final game of group stage.
Luckily, Condi is there, the man on a mission to bring Graves back to meta. Personal favorite, shout out to Kira for just letting everybody in solo queue know that that's what a Yasuo performance should look like, and please don't play that champion again.
It was so funny because Gambit was drafting this pretty normal comp out of nowhere just as Yasuo last pick.
They had to one-up the Vayne. They're like, he can't be the only guy that's just straight feeding in this game. We gotta even it out. One guy's got a Vayne comp, one guy's got a Yasuo comp.
Yeah, and during that replay, that was all focused around the ball lane. xiye got a solo kill and then roams down to finish it off on the back end to actually get an ace across the map, but yeah, craziness.
Ultimately, Gambit, WE, they're both having a lot of fun with that one, but I think we have to talk about a little bit about Gambit at this tournament, right? They weren't able to hash it up. They weren't able to be a strong enough team to take down Lyon Gaming. I think at the end of the day, they got placed in a very strong group, and while they did kind of bow out, they did have their moments.
Yeah, and the big thing is kind of recognizing what Gambit were really strong at. You know, I had them higher up on the tier ranking coming into plans. I thought that stylistically this should actually be a great group for them because Team WE do like to play so slow and Gambit do like to play so fast. So unfortunately, they weren't able to get their fast playmaking over the hurdle of mid and late game. But for the early game portion, particularly Diamondprox's Kane jumps out to me. It looked great.
Yeah, there were a few other moments too, but ultimately it felt like Gambit just weren't quite on the same page as maybe we saw from the Albus Nox Luna. Maybe people a little bit more ready for that crazy style than they were at Worlds 2016.
Definitely felt like that, as well as I think Albus Nox Luna benefited from some underperforming people in their group. And here it actually was a very difficult group. Lyon stepped up massively, were able to challenge WE 2 games in a row, and so it's no surprise that this was very difficult for Gambit to perform in.
Not a surprise at all. Well, our regularly scheduled games are now complete, but the show's not over yet. Stick around for our tiebreaker between the Dire Wolves from the OPL and CB Law's Team 1 Esports.
The flash away from Mystic. They're popping the eel to go after him. It's first blood for the Kog'Maw. xiye trying to keep himself alive, but he's got backup. Stun comes out. Windwall goes over the wall. Kira wanted to come in there.
he wants it.
Up Mystic. He gets himself stunned. He still wants to make the play, but I don't think he's gonna get it. It's a triple for Condi. Edward trying to keep himself alive. Can't quite do it. Mystic about to find the kill onto Blasting as well, but it's Blasting who gets blasted. It's Edward who goes with him. It's Diamondprox who burns to a crisp, and it's xiye who gets the solo kill onto Kira.
Here we go.
Oh, xiye! Kira tries to go in, but he just doesn't have the damage. WE takes down Gambit.